Polymer80 sues the government in the Northern District of Texas. Is the Northern District of Texas our new Benitez? Let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is me, journalist extraordinaire, John Crump, and I need you to do me a favor. Head over to thegundies.com and vote for me for top voices of the 2A. I would appreciate your vote. And while you're at it, vote for me here by hitting that thumbs up button, liking the video, commenting, and also subscribing to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a case out of the Northern District of Texas. The Northern District of Texas has been in the news a lot lately because there's been a lot of good decisions coming out of there, including the 80% arms decision. And it is part of the Fifth Circuit Court where we got Cargill, which overturned the bump stock thing, but not yet. The bump stock case has to be remanded down to the district court to issue a judgment for Cargill. And then we will see what happens with the Supreme Court because there is a circuit split. But I'm not going to get into that because I'm here to talk about the Polymer80 case. Polymer80 is suing Attorney General Merrick Garland in district court because he wants to violate your Second Amendment right to participate in the gun building process. Polymer80 also states that if the frames and receiver rule does go through, it threatens their existence. Polymer80 is also going after them on Administrative Procedures Act violations, which is really smart because Cargill was out of the Fifth Circuit Court, and the Fifth Circuit Court ruled against the government in the bump stock case because they violated the administrative procedure rules. And we're going to get into that in a minute. But let me go ahead and talk about some of the claims that Polymer80 makes. Polymer80 is claiming that the ATF is reversing their long-standing position that frames and receivers that are not complete are not firearms. And they made these claims through letters and also litigation. And now the ATF is going back on that, and that's because of pressure from the Biden administration. They are saying that the ATF is redefining the Gun Control Act of 1968, also known as the GCA, and only Congress can make laws, which is a violation of the APA if they are trying to make laws without going through Congress. Basically, what they're doing is expanding the definition of frames, receivers, and firearms, and they have the power to hold people criminally liable for practicing their 2A rights. Polymer80 talks about how the ATF is now rejecting every letter that they've issued to companies like Polymer80. Polymer80 has letters stating that their kits were not firearms, and now they have rejected that. Also, they talk about the open letter. The open letter stated that blanks are now firearms, and they also sent another letter directly to Polymer80 stating that their products are now firearms. And that kind of violates the APA because that is a change to the final rule. They claimed that the final rule did not ban those items in several different cases, and now they're claiming that it does. And if they want to make a change to the rule, it has to go through the rulemaking process. It has to be submitted for comments and reviewed from the public. And they did not do that. They just issued an open letter which redefined the final rule. They are also claiming that the ATF is violating their First Amendment rights. Whenever they submit something now, they have to submit the marketing material too, which Polymer80 claims is a violation of the First Amendment rights. Also, you cannot package plans with any type of kit, which is also a violation of the First Amendment rights. You are allowed to own plans to build firearms. You are allowed to own plans to build almost anything. There's the Anarchist Cookbook, which is not illegal, but you can go ahead and buy directly from Amazon because it's protected by the First Amendment rights. And if the First Amendment protects that, it should also protect gun building plans. The looting machine gun plans are not banned in the United States because it's protected by the First Amendment Polymer80 also makes a strong case that the whole entire open letter that they sent to everyone and the new rule is to try to put them out of business. And I believe that is exactly what the federal government is trying to do. Biden does not like Polymer80 and therefore wants them shut down. So they are using the force of the government to shut them down at the barrel of a gun. Polymer80 is asking a judge to enter a preliminary injunction against the redefinition of frames and receivers as done in the open letter and also in the final rule. We'll see what the judge has to say, but I have a strong feeling that Polymer80 will be successful because 80% arms was successful. So if Polymer80 is successful, that would be great for everyone in the country because then they could sell everything and business can go on as usual. Remember, the government is trying to infringe on your constitutionally protected, God-given rights to bear arms, and including in those rights is the right to build your own firearm. Polymer80 talks about the rich history in the United States of people building their own firearms. Even before the country was a country, people built their own firearms. We are not a monarchy. We are not ruled. We are citizens, and we are citizens because we have the right to bear arms. If we did not have a way of throwing off the shackles of tyranny, we would become subjects. And I would prefer dangerous freedom to peaceful servitude any day of the week. All right, guys, I love you very much. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep in the fight. I am out of here. Wolverine's mother.